on, everybody? Welcome back. Damn, the crypto market is looking terrible. It is looking absolutely awful at this point in time. And we're gonna have some fun talking about it today. The market is absolutely collapsing. Let me know we are live. Let me know that sound is good. If sound is too high, whatever the case may be, just give me a heads up on that as well. But holy cow. Really, every single Friday over the last month or more has led to more of a downside in crypto, right? We're going to talk a little bit about those items as well. We're going to have some fun and just check out some charts, see if the market is screwed. Are we done? Is the end near? Have we topped? Is alt season dead? And more. But I want to say what's up to everybody first, man. I hope all of y'all are having a fantastic day. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. As always, boys and girls. Holy cow, holy cow. Yeah, the floor is absolutely crumbling, right? We can actually see the overall tidal wave of red across all of the charts at this point in time. It looks like the crypto empire is teetering on the edge of oblivion. Maybe you've thought about looking at certain bridges to be checking out yourself, because right now billions have been liquidated, just vanished, gone in this panic. In the last hour, I believe there was $250 million liquidated as well. Bitcoin has plummeted, now close to 30%, I believe. Panic selling is absolutely erupting at this point in time. Is it a dip? Is it a correction? It's freaking chaos is what it is, man. Bitcoin was once, of course, that unshakable titan, but now it's kind of falling in line with all of the other cryptos as well. Granted, it's done pretty well since the 2022 end of the bear market type play, but it just hasn't been performing like many of us thought it would at this point in time, right? You can look at several other indicators that where everyone kind of thought Bitcoin would possibly be around this time, especially with a pretty good presidential cabinet in office, along with the Senate, along with the House of Representatives. And it just seems like it's just like not really freaking happening right now, right? Because right now it's bleeding, guys. Ethereum is absolutely looking horrendous. It finally started to show some hope last Friday, right? Just less than a week ago, 5 days ago. And then the overall news of Bybit getting hacked sent the market into a free fall. This is when I believe we also have some form of market manipulation going on as well. We got, everyone doing a whole bunch of stuff that I don't necessarily agree with at all. But that's kind of what it's been right now. That's kind of how it's been. That's what it's been. I'm just reading the chat real fast. It's funny. Y'all are funny. What's cooking in the kitchen? Yeah, Island Boys need to be held accountable for sure. It's all going to -1. Lol. What's up, Deej and Dougie? But guys, I mean, check it out, man. Like, let's just look at some fun charts overall. Let's just kind of see what's happening right now, because god dang, it is a crazy time to be in crypto for sure at this point, right? If you are still in crypto during all of these times, hey, I salute you. I mean, most of the time the way you win is simply just by staying in the market the longest, and a lot of people are absolutely getting rinsed. One of the worst ways to be in the market is when the market just goes sideways. It just does absolutely nothing. It is a very boring time. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's a time-based capitulation is the way I heard someone describe it. And I thought that was the best way to look at it as well. A time-based capitulation, it simply just means they are going to have you just sit on your hands long enough until you decide to do something, and most of the time the second you decide to do something is the time that you actually get wrecked. That's when you often start taking on more risk, for example, like taking on some leverage, or you start going and chasing the new shiny objects, like all the new meme coins that are getting launched. I mean, dude, pump.fun has like 20,000 tokens being launched every single day. I think at this point in time, we're well into the hundreds of millions of tokens that are out there. I would at least guarantee we're at 100 million tokens at this point in time. And, you know, it's just like every single second, there's probably about 5 to 100 tokens getting launched. And I think I'm being pretty conservative when I say that. And most of the time, literally, they all rug within the first 5 minutes. And so a lot of these people, never having played that game before, see someone go and make a whole bunch of money off a particular meme coin. Like Jailstool is a perfect example in the most recent one with Dave Portnoy. And they go make a whole bunch of money, and they typically are like, I want to go get in on the next one. I don't want to be a part of that next one, because maybe they feel like they missed out on that one already. Most of the time that was pretty much also around the top as well. And, you know, you start jumping into all these different tokens, and then bam, next thing you know, your account's wrecked, your account's gone. Or the worst is when you end up, you know, playing with things that you've never messed with before in your life, and you connect your wallet to a malicious website that you didn't, you know, trust or verify or get from anything, and your funds get drained. I think it was Dirty Crypto the other day said he knew someone who was trying to bridge into Pulse Chain, and he typed in on Microsoft Bing Pulse Chain Bridge, and the very first link that was there is a sponsored link, but it's a scam, fake phishing link, and Pulse Chain is misspelled, and that person's wallet got drained. And so this happens to so many people who start playing in this world of, let me go degen a little bit, because time-based capitulation will absolutely lead you to do something to actually get yourself wrecked. And that's basically what we've been seeing, because, like, you know, this is coming from Kyle Reedhead over here, but this is basically what 2025 has been like for us, right? I mean, we've had it to where you know, Trump launched a token right before he got into the office, and essentially that has gone and done very poorly. Tariffs have been an absolute nightmare for everybody, because they don't know if we're gonna implement tariffs, they don't know if we aren't going to implement tariffs. So they're using it as a trading strategy to negotiate. Are they simply just, you know, saying that we're going to start tariffing and anti-tariffing and retaliatory tariffs and tariff, and it's like, dude, come on, man. It's got everyone freaking out. Uncertainty, it adds a lot of panic into the market. Higher rates for longer. You got the Fed talking about, we don't really know, we may only end up dropping the interest rates 2 times in 2025, and heck, maybe even only 1. Dude, what if we don't even get any rate drops? People are like, oh my god. Higher rates for longer right there. We've seen liquidations, and we've seen the largest you know, days of liquidation. I think there was just last week $1.5 billion liquidated, and then just today alone there's already been $200+ million liquidated. DeepSeek, that was a big China thing that just came out. DeepSeek came out, oh my god, the Chinese launched this token, the Chinese launched this system, and it allowed them to be able to compute things so much cheaper and so much faster. And what are we even wasting our money for on Nvidia and all these other different companies who are going out and trying to make these like Chat GPT, and what are they doing with all that money, and blah 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 blah, right? It just continues to go down. DeepSeek came out, and it's like, how did they end up doing it for so cheap? What is going on? That was a freak out moment. You had the president of Argentina launch a rug, or at least promote a rug, Libra. This was something that you even saw recently on the CoffeeZilla show, where he went through and had the whole little fun item with Hayden talking about basically it is an insider's game right now. Like, he shared a lot of the truths that we already know, but for a lot of people who aren't in crypto right now, they don't understand that most of these tokens that are getting launched are being launched by insider communities. They're being launched by insider groups. They're being launched by people who already have the ability to get the sniper bot set up, who already have everything done. Like you saw with the Hawk Tua meme girl, you saw with all these tokens that are being launched right now. They're being done and orchestrated in such a way that they can go make millions of dollars off this by implementing certain things. There is no regulatory control in this market right now, and unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to see it, I guess. You had David Czar, which is like the crypto czar, right? David Sachs, I mean, which is a crypto czar, talking about meme coins are collectibles. And collectibles by nature are not securities, right? He's talking about you get to be a point and moment in time, which is where you see things like this, the Trump rug happen. And this is where you saw David Sachs like, well, it's a collectible, right? Yeah, meme coins are collectibles. And then you just see, launch and launch and launch. And there's hundreds and thousands of them that just all came off this one thing alone. The biggest hack in crypto history. Just recently, last week on Friday, the Lazarus group, or the, North Korean hackers, ended up hacking into Bybit, and they got 400,000 Ethereum. They ended up burning some, which I thought was pretty damn cool, right? They ended up just minting it or sending it to a burn address, but I think that was like, $1.6 billion is what they ended up hacking. I think they did like $25 million just to like a burn address. And now they're actually funneling, or supposedly funneling the funds through Pump Fund to actually, orchestrate and actually launder the money in such a way that, it makes it that much more impossible to actually track, because they can go set up a bundle wallet with Solana. They can go have 20 wallets right away and set up in such a way that they can launch a token, promote the token, rug the token, but all the insider wallets that ended up having it all get the funds, and then the wallet that ended up hacking Bybit in the first place is no longer being able to get tracked as the wallet who actually get it done. And now they can launder that money, and dude, it's a whole lot of more stuff, and of course more tariffs, right? This is basically what 2025 has been like right now. And tell me if it doesn't feel this way to you. Whether you're male or female, you got to be understanding this is what it be feeling like right now. It is absolutely a kick in the balls every 2 seconds right now. You actually have Houdini, which actually says despite having anticipated a major drop for Bitcoin and crypto, I never guessed that this would be a catalyst. That you can look at the charts and you can be like, yeah, I can see a potential pullback. I've been saying this for a while as well. Based on what we've seen in the past, when you have a bull market run, oftentimes it is possible to see a 30% pullback in Bitcoin on a bull run. It has happened every single time in the past. 2017, 2021, 2013, every single bull run in the past has actually experienced at least a 30% pullback one time during its run up. We hadn't yet really seen a 30% pullback, so I've been calling it in the books for a while that you would see like, hey man, there's a potential we could go down to 70,000 Bitcoin, which by the way would absolutely suck, because if you just do like what the average is right now on 70,000 Ethereum or 70,000 Bitcoin, and basically the ETH ratio is somewhere around here 0.027, it puts Ethereum under $2,000, guys, and that would be brutal. Do you know how many people are about to get liquidated when that actually happens? But they never thought that this would be the reason why the market's happening. You got North Korean hackers, the Lazarus group, stealing $1.5 billion from Bybit. The market basically didn't react. They were like, not really anything crazy. I mean, a hack happens, but as long as I can access my money and as long as it's all good, then it's all good. Well, Bybit goes out and secures a loan where they actually have to put up their own collateral to take out this loan, and they ended up then crashing the market. The market crashes with majority of long liquidations coming from Bybit. $700 million yesterday, 300 million today, and still counting. And of course now Bybit's able to start repaying their loans conveniently enough. This is actually what market manipulation looks like. It's absolutely in the charts. You can absolutely see it every single time, right? Bitcoin $10,000 move down. Foreseen in Telegram, this is what he was saying. It went from 96,000 to 86,000. And guys, this next target is essentially just doing, what we're talking about here, the bearish retest in the gray box before we ultimately go lower. And he's saying that we could potentially be looking at an $80,000 Bitcoin as well. And I have to somewhat believe this as well. Looking at this chart, folks, we have dropped below all previous support. There is no longer any price here that correlates with any price that we were at before. The last level we needed to really hold to see if we were going to hold this level was roughly around $85,100. We'll say 85,000 to keep it simple. And we just fell right below that, and you can see this is crashing and crashing hard. I mean, heck, in the last 3 days alone, the sucker's down 15%, and this is Bitcoin that we're talking about. I understand normal altcoins are going to be seeing their own dips as well, and I get that, you know what I mean? But this is when you start seeing from the actual top, because we actually reached 109,000. Well, we have finally ended up getting 25% on this dip. So we still haven't yet seen a 30% dip play out. And again, I've been talking about this, but folks, we have nothing here in this zone. There's zero level of support, range, or any sort of previous items for technical analysis to say we're gonna hold anywhere in this level. Oftentimes you go back to where the previous levels of support and resistance were, which would bring us all the way down to roughly about 77,000 at this point, is basically what this chart is telling me. Now that we have fallen below, now granted, this is on the daily, we can absolutely get a little pump up right before the day closes, but if the day does close below $85,000, it is likely that the rest of the market will see us go here to here and play in this zone. We're going to go down to $80,000 next, and again, we only have one candle here. So again, I don't have a lot of support or resistance around this area. This is simply saying, hey, Bitcoin was here one day and it passed by it real fast. Well, now that we're going toward the opposite way, toward the downside, well, this leads us to believe that we can now see a potential to reach $80,000. And if we do not hold this 80K, which again, I do not find this to be a strong level of support by any stretch of the imagination, the next nearest level of support I would say would be roughly about 75,000. But really what I had drawn out on this one was the next level of support and resistance, if you're actually looking for true support and resistance, would be all the way down to $72,000. That's pretty damn bearish, y'all. We have fallen now below the 8-day MA. We've fallen below the 55-day MA, and we've again kind of started this little move as well when looking at these overall charts to say it's not really looking pretty. Now, if we were to pull up just kind of where the RSI is standing, we are finally getting into an oversold territory. So it is likely, again, we haven't seen these levels since August, by the way. If you actually look at this, August was the last time we reached an oversold level in Bitcoin, and even before that, it was July and then June. So June, July, August, we each month of those hit an oversold territory. If we look at something similar this time around, being that this time we are now going into the oversold level for the first time, well, this is kind of what the market may end up looking like. We may end up playing this range where we go into this level for the next 3 months, which kind of freaking sucks, guys, to be absolutely just clear as possible on this one. I do believe we are getting an extended market this time. You know, whenever I look at some of this stuff, I do believe we are getting an extended market right now, meaning we're probably going to end up going into 2026 before we really start seeing tops. And that's just through the macroeconomics, not just everything happening. But really, guys, the cycle hasn't played out nearly anything crazy as it has ever in the past. Yeah, I decided to have some fun, tense music today. Again, if it's too loud or anything, you let me know. But yeah, I just wanted to have some fun with this because that's how I feel, man. That's how the market feels right now. It feels like everything is just tense. Everything is just like waiting to find a reason to sell, to find a reason to get you to exit your positions. And oftentimes this is when the market will absolutely rinse everyone at that point in time. In fact, we can actually look at a couple of different things, right? What I want to see first is just pulling up. Let's just kind of pull up a couple things first. Let's start with going to CoinGlass. Right now, the altcoin index is currently sitting at 29. So that's pretty damn low for like altcoin season index. It just means that we aren't anywhere close to really being in this alt season right now. The average RSI is 45, which again isn't oversold, isn't overbought. It just means it's neutral. This is probably what the average RSI has been really over the last several months. Now, granted, we are going through a collapse right now, but we can see that right now, nothing's really getting crazy, guys. In the last 24 hours right here, there's been $724 million liquidated, right? That is a stupid amount of liquidations happening during that time. And you can actually look at the liquidations as well. If we actually pull up what they currently are, just on the last 24 hours, you can see 24 hours here, there's been 724 million liquidated right now. Give me 1 second. I thought this thing had a little zoom. I want to try something here. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can adjust something. Shortcut. Zoom. Color wheel. And oh geez, I'm not seeing where I can do it right now. Maybe I'll have to play around with this one in a little bit, but you can actually see just kind of where I'm clicking right now. 24 hours, $724 million have been liquidated. 500 million of that is coming from longs, people going long on the market. Basically, if you aren't familiar with long and short, when you are long the market, you think the prices are going to go up. Thereby, you're bullish. You're saying, hey, I'm going to enter at this level in the anticipation that prices are going to go up. So let's just use Bitcoin as our example. If you look at where Bitcoin currently was, whoops, I have to get rid of that. And if you look at where Bitcoin currently was on these charts, this is basically saying, hey, I think the market's not ever going to go below $90,000. This is basically like you being long no matter where you got in. You were long all the way back here. Let's just say you entered right here, perfect time. You were like, dude, the market's hitting a damn near bottom right now. I'm going to go long the market because I think prices are going to go up. And hey, in the short term, prices did in fact go up, and you did incredible. And if you didn't close that position and you left it open because you thought prices would continue to go on, which is oftentimes what happens. Greed is a hell of a drug. What happens is the price starts dipping, and as these prices start getting closer to your $90,000 liquidation event, meaning if prices go below $90,000, you will lose whatever capital that you put into that long. So you say, I just don't know, man, we're getting close, but I think, you know, we can handle a little bit more dip. We can handle a little bit more dip. And then all of a sudden it falls below 90,000, you're liquidated, you're out of the market, you're out of the game. That's it. Whatever position you put in for leverage, that you said, whatever collateral you put in to say, hey, I want to go X long on the market, this is your way of getting that loss. Now, oftentimes you go a 2x leverage, 3x leverage, 5x leverage, 10x leverage, so on and so forth. And the easiest way to understand this is if you go a 10x leverage and the price goes down 10% at that point in time, you will actually get liquidated at that point in time. Now, again, that's just kind of simplify it. But again, or that's another way of just kind of keeping it simple. If you go 2x leverage and the price drops again, you have to see that price drop roughly about 50% or more in order to get liquidated. And I think the 10x leverage was a little bit wrong on the math on that one, but I'm just letting you know that the price does have to fall below. And unfortunately, this happens to so many people because they took on so much additional leverage. They didn't just go a 2x long or a 3x long or maybe even a 10x long. These people are doing 100x longs, 50x longs, meaning if the price goes down 1 or 2%, you get liquidated at that point. So maybe during this time you got lucky. You're like, dude, I went 10x long, price are doing great, and the price goes down here and boom, you get liquidated all of a sudden. That's how fast that happened. Now granted, this is in the span of really 44 days, so it wasn't like it was anything like a long span of time. That happened pretty darn quick in the span of what's going on. But when you're looking at all of these charts right now and just seeing how all the market is reacting, all of these things got liquidated pretty damn fast, guys. And this is a pretty crazy thing to see, unfortunately, right? Like, I don't necessarily like seeing any people get liquidated at any point in time, but this just shows how much people are trying to do. In the last hour alone, again, this is already updated here, but that number was just 44 million just a second ago, and it went down. But again, last 4 hours, $400 million have been liquidated. Many people are going long, and you can see all of these people who are long. You can actually see it on the actual exchange. You can see it on the prices. You can see where the liquidation levels are. You can see all of this right here, and you can see real-time liquidations happening as we speak. Again, $5,000 just got liquidated, $1,000 just got liquidated, 5,000 here. Again, these numbers are wild, but this is, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 consistently over tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, and it adds up to an incredible stupid number. And the hold up. Echo, come here. So you can see just how crazy this really is right now. You know what I mean? You can actually see overall the longs, the shorts. You can see, you know, who's getting liquidated, where they're getting liquidated, and prices, while they're going down, sure, it's like they're likely being pushed down by the market makers. This is when you start seeing everyone start coming out about like Wintermute. I had never even heard about Wintermute before, and now all of a sudden I've heard Wintermute damn near every single other post that I'm looking at right now. It's talking about Wintermute. And also I just don't think we're at the near of the top market, guys. This is like all of the big bull market peak top indicators that we have had a couple flash from just the overall market, like celebrities endorsing meme coins. That's typically going to be a cycle top area, and we've seen more celebrities endorse the hell of a lot more of these DJing coins being launched on Solana like crazy. That's typically a market type cycle indicator. But these are the actual market cycle indicators that you would typically be looking at. Again, you would just say like the pi cycle top. We haven't gotten anywhere near that. The Pure multiple, the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we haven't gotten anywhere near. None of these have been hit. Again, out of 33 options out of 30 options in this whole area, not a single item has been hit. And I just don't believe that we are there. Again, the Bitcoin dominance would typically be well below 50, 60, 70. If you actually look at the Bitcoin dominance overall, you would typically see these well below on the actual overall crypto market, you know, peak market tops. You would see it at 50, you would see it at 55, you would see it at 40. Like, that's the market top in my personal opinion. Like, we're barely just now breaking into this 60% range again, which, by the way, I love seeing this. This is actually very bullish for altcoins, but we really need to start breaking below 60, and not only below 60, we really need to start breaking below 55. That's when I would be more so getting a lot more bullish, because otherwise we can kind of see this play out like we saw it break below 55. If you remember December, early into November, that was a pretty damn good month for crypto. Again, altcoins were really pumping during that time. This is all of the November pump that was happening, and altcoins were really starting to pump. And then all of a sudden December came, mid-December, and well, Bitcoin started outperforming all of a sudden again, and then we actually saw it go all the way back up to 65%, which is a stupid high number. Again, you don't want to be anywhere near this number for altcoin season, but I just don't believe we've seen any altcoin season at this time. We haven't seen the metrics to really show us that yet at this point in time. Now, one thing that is pretty bullish overall for altcoins is I am seeing the others versus Bitcoin chart finally start to actually push up against Bitcoin, meaning that's pretty damn bullish. Every single time in the past, when you look back on the previous cycles, and I'll put this on the weekly here just to keep it a little bit easier. Whoops, what did I just click on? You can see when we pull up the previous cycles overall, this is 2021 right here. You got the alt season or others start outperforming Bitcoin. That was a massive rally that led us from December into the May timeframe, where it had a sell-off into the end of January or early January of 2022. That was pretty damn bullish. Same thing over here for 2017. This is when others started outperforming Bitcoin. So you do ideally want to start seeing these play out. Again, this is something that would need to be taking place, but hey, we're just now seeing what could possibly be the bottom. Now, again, I'm not calling this to be the bottom. I would love for it to be the bottom more than anything. I think the altcoins could really use a pump for sure, and not just the, you know, random 2 meme coins that end up taking off. But guys, Ethereum is crap in the bed once again. Every single time that we have been close, every single time we've been close to something happening for Ethereum to start finally breaking out, Ethereum decides to go and shit the bed. And this is when you start looking at this again. We have now fallen below my bearish parallel channel. We have been in this zone all the way from December, and I thought, you know what, as long as we stay in this range, I guess you can get somewhat of an idea of what to expect. But guys, if we fall below 2100, that is bad news bears. This is why I have a line right here, because that's really that last level of resistance. In fact, I thought we would actually see a flip around here. You see a 1 pump here, a 2 touch here, a 3 touch here, and that oftentimes ends up being a very bullish move for the crypto asset in question. Being that we started pumping right now, or being that we started dumping right now, I'm paying attention to seeing if we are going to actually hold 2100, because looking at the overall moving averages right now, the 8 is now crossing below the 55, which, by the way, that is a bearish signal. That's kind of showing that the market doesn't want to rally yet. You can see in the times when we've gone through and the 8 has crossed below the 55, it hasn't been good and it hasn't been pretty all the way through many different cycles before. 8 crossed below the 55 here. We went pretty damn bearish during that time, right? And I really don't want to start seeing us below $2,100 for Ethereum. Granted, if Bitcoin gets to the $7,000 or $70,000 range, it is likely that we may end up seeing something like that happen, which again would not be good for the overall crypto market, because just when we started seeing the light shine for Ethereum against Bitcoin dominance, or the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, we finally started seeing ETH show some resilience to start pushing us toward the next level. And guys, if we are always below this 0.029 level, we will not go into the alt season. That's just a fact of what it is right there. We have never seen this happen in the past. You don't see an alt season if there's not below, you know, if we're below here. Now, if we really want to start getting into the alt season again, Ethereum's got to start outperforming Bitcoin, and not only by a lot, but now almost damn near 100% during this time, right? 55%, to get us just back into the alt season range before we really start kicking off again. And that would just bring us into the range of 0.04. Not asking for a lot here, but I'm saying that, you know, there's a lot of things that are just kind of like showing us that the market doesn't have a lot of strength right now. Let's just keep it as simple as that, because if you look at the heat map right now, it is absolutely brutal, guys. This is a sea of red that I'm now swimming in over here, right? This is just a sea of red. Yeah, there have been a couple tokens that have pumped, but I mean, dude, 2%, 4%, that's nothing, anything crazy by any means of the imagination, especially when the rest of the overall market is just absolutely in free fall mode right now. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what's going on. I just wanted to kind of share, I guess, a couple of those charts real fast and just share kind of what I'm seeing. I do still believe that we could end up seeing, you know, an alt season happen over here, where, you know, we've seen this happen, we've seen this play out before, where it goes sideways for a little bit, it goes down, and then it just rallies up and we go into like a crazy little parabolic move type deal. It's possible. It is, guys. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but the further and further we go from kind of where things are right now, you know, the longer it takes to really start getting going over here. So anyways, let me just kind of you know, hit you with the Wednesday, my dudes, because guys, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Could be 1 month, could be 2 months.
3 months.
Could be
4 months.
I can see that happening. Yes.
8 months.
That's a realistic timeline.
11 months.
Perhaps. Could be 1 month, could be 2 months.
This is how I be feeling right now, y'all. It'd be like that right now. When's the altcoin happening? When's the pump happening? When are we getting out of this freaking range in this zone? All that good stuff. And you know, that's basically what it'd be feeling like right now. It could be 1 month, could be 2 months. Be like 4 months, yeah. I mean, could be. Fair. 8 months, yeah. I mean, it's likely to be 8 months. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a crazy freaking market crypto is right now. And again, like, Bitcoin not holding 85,000 was not bullish. And if it closes below 85,000, again, I don't see that being good for the overall crypto market and the charts. Especially, you know, again, I'm just, you know, sharing this once again, but this is kind of what we're looking at overall, right? If you're really seeing kind of how the market has been playing out and what it's kind of showing right now, just being here in this zone, in this range, is not necessarily like the best of indicators right now. You know, being up in this upper range, this is what I was talking about, the time-based capitulation. This is where you saw a lot of people were getting in the market, getting out, getting in, getting out, you know, just bored. They don't really know what's going on. But hey, it was a sideways range the entire time. Once you start falling below sideways ranges and it starts breaking through, obviously you want to see which way the direction breaks, up or down. Being that the market is now kind of breaking toward the downside right now, well, we've kind of just seen this happen already in the past. So if we were to just draw out, let me just kind of pull it up, a rectangle, and just say like here to here. This is basically one of the first rectangles, and the second one would be actually right below that. So this is basically the previous range that we were in. Well, once it decided to finally break out of that range, you can actually see how far it actually broke out of the range. So I'm just going to kind of draw a quick line from here to here. Get rid of that, extend function right there, and you can see how quick the market decided to break. Right, you can see what went down, what actually took place, and how high the market went. Well, now we're kind of getting into this once again second zone right here. So now you're actually looking for this new zone to be played out, and this is basically what went down right here. We're now in this new zone being played out, to keep it simple. And once we're actually in this new zone, right, we have to see which way the market's really going to be playing, because again, I'm going to shorten this up just a little bit, but you can see kind of like what went down during that time. Ideally right now, we can manage to hold the 85K range, again, push us back above. So, whether it be daily or weekly, obviously both would be good. Weekly for sure, you don't want to see it close below 85 during that time, because I mean, heck, we don't even have a wick showing on this chart right now at 85. But just kind of seeing how this would actually end up playing out. If it decides to break down or break up, we just kind of have to see how far we're going to go. So what I want to do real quick, keep it simple, pull up a quick fib, right? I just want to see from the time the market pumped to the time the market dipped, and just kind of see what we're actually looking at overall, and see where we could be looking at. So we've already hit the 786 level right now, which I don't necessarily, or the 618 level, which again kind of put us in this 85K range right now. The next level that I would be seeing again would be right here in that 77K zone, right? That's kind of showing us where the price is likely going to go if it decides to actually close below the 85K range. And again, both of those aren't necessarily good things. They are just showing that the market is not necessarily happy with how everything is right now. Again, just based on where the ETH ratio to Bitcoin ratio ends up falling and ends up being. Y'all saw this moments ago, but if it decides to not hold the range down here, and we end up closing below this 0.027 range down here, not necessarily a good thing, right? If Bitcoin does end up getting to 77,000, we're still, based on where we currently are in this same range right now, Ethereum's at 2100 at that point in time. And I think a whole lot of people are going to get liquidated during that time as well. So let me see what y'all got to say during the chat. Let me see what's happening overall, and see what y'all think about what's happening. Like, we haven't even heard from, like, Paul Atkins is really the last person to, I guess, get confirmed from the Senate and Congress and all them. And so, like, I think everyone else that Trump had put in place has been confirmed at this point. I don't recall hearing anyone not getting confirmed. So that kind of leads me to believe that Paul Atkins is also going to be, and Paul Atkins is going to be the person in charge of the SEC. There's rumors that they could just drop all the cases. There was a article going around from Coinbase basically saying that there's no longer any case against Coinbase right now. Now that came from Coinbase versus SEC. That came from Coinbase, and it hasn't been fully heard or mentioned by the SEC. And you're seeing this kind of happen, right? The crypto war's over. Coinbase versus SEC, case dismissed. No fines, no penalties, just a fresh start. Regulation now fuels clarity, not chaos. The U.S. reclaims its own crypto crown, right? And so this is basically kind of what was going on right here, right? So the SEC dropped cases. Like, again, I haven't heard the SEC dropping any of these at this point in time. These are all people who basically came out and said that the SEC was going to drop the cases against them right now. But you had this OpenSea case done, Coinbase done, Robinhood done. And again, this is kind of showing that maybe it's possible that we're just going to start seeing like all of these kind of cases against crypto be done, right? The SEC is backing off Coinbase. It's huge. They didn't get the legal win they needed to go after other crypto projects. No precedent for their case against Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. If secondary sales aren't ruled as security, the SEC can't just claim that they are. I mean, guys, this is kind of like what's going on in the overall market right now. Again, this is back in February, just last week at this point in time. I think February 21st is when all of these little articles started coming out, basically showing that we are going to be done during this time. So liquidations, here we go. And yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There was another item I did want to pull up as well for the liquidations. I'm just trying to remember how to end up pulling it up right now to actually see. Okay, yeah, here it is. So this is basically showing the same thing for liquidations right now. This everyone, long, short the market. You can basically see that everyone to the right of this is essentially like long. Look at this, like 50x leverage, $18 million, 100x leverage, $10 million, like 25x leverage, $2 million. That's a lot of freaking leverage, guys. And these are all, again, people over here who are, or these are all shorts over here on this side. These are all basically saying like, hey, prices are not going to go back to these prices again. I'm going to short the market over on the right side of this chart right now, and I'm going to take on some additional leverage. So that way, if the price should actually go the direction I think it will, I can make a lot more money. Instead of just a 10% drop, I can go make a 30, 40, 50, or even 100% move with some of these guesses to say if the market's going to go long or short. Well, the longs actually are down here now. So what's going to be funny is basically if Bitcoin does end up reaching into the 77K range, you can kind of see the cumulative long liquidations would be roughly about $270 million. And this would wipe out all those people in this 78, 79K range, and then the market makers would just go about pumping the price again, and they would wipe out everybody going the other way. So if Bitcoin just goes back to $91,000, there's $1.2 billion getting liquidated again, going in this direction, just going long to $91,000. So this is basically them saying, I'm gonna wipe everybody out over here, boom, I'm gonna wreck everybody. I'm gonna wipe everybody out on the way back, boom, I'm gonna wreck everybody. And now everyone's left without any additional capital. They can't really do anything, and now they're just kind of screwed. And you can see this overall for like the overall exchanges, right? This holds like Binance, OKX, and Bybit, and there's a heck of a lot more centralized exchanges that offer leverage trading as well. And so a lot of these leverage trading platforms doesn't even include all of them as well. So if we're seeing $2 billion possibly get liquidated if we just go up to 91,000, right? $3 billion get liquidated just going up to $91,000 Bitcoin. Well, I imagine through the other exchanges as well, we're probably closer to like $10-15 billion that get liquidated, just reaching 91K range. And the market makers know this at this point in time. You can see they've done it to Ethereum as well. Ethereum, if the price just goes back up to $2,500 down here, just reaching $2,500 for the price of Ethereum, well, it would actually be roughly about $1 billion getting liquidated, just going long 25-30 on Ethereum right now. Same thing for the going short Ethereum right now. Same thing for the longs. If prices go down into the $2,100 range, again, there's going to be another $350 million that get liquidated just in these exchanges alone, which is absolutely freaking crazy to imagine. And this is happening, of course, with all of the charts. This isn't just Bitcoin, it's not just Ethereum, and the market makers are controlling the entire narrative for all the crypto, right? You can actually see, if you look at Bitcoin, when the price started dumping on this particular one here, if we break it down on like an hourly chart real fast, just to keep it a little simple, you just look at all the charts and tell me they don't look damn near identical, right? You can see this chart over here for Ethereum looks identical. You can see this chart for Binance looks damn near identical. XRP, damn near identical. Solana, damn near identical. Every single one of these charts right now are looking damn near identical for every single time they end up, shorting these markets and everything happening right now. In fact, you can probably end up just making a little fun bars pattern and just see if we end up getting a similar pattern that just plays out. So I'll just copy this one over onto, we'll say Ethereum, and boom, place it over on top, and yep, looks pretty damn near identical. We'll copy that one again, put it over on the Binance chart, Okay, prices are going to be a little bit different overall, but you can see if I just, you know, adjust some of the ranges right now, it looks damn near identical overall. All of these things look the same right now. And again, you could talk about, you know, Hart's law. They're tied together through liquidity. They're, you know, all of everything happening right now. But I mean, really at this point in time, it seems to be the market makers doing market maker things, and they're absolutely manipulating the market in such a way that's rinsing everybody out, not just from the time-based capitulation method that they used for the last 2 months, where things have been absolutely boring and you saw sentiment go through the freaking ground, right? I mean, that thing went underground in the tunnels and just brutal. You know, you start looking at all these other sentiments going on, or just time-based capitulations going on, and you say, you know, hey, this is what's happening overall, this is what's going on, this is how I'm feeling, this is, you know, everything in the crypto market is pretty damn trash right now, guys. Again, looking at the total 2, total 3, total the overall total market right now, again, looks damn near identical, granted, because they're all freaking the same, right? They are actually controlling the market in such a way that's almost a little bit annoying at this point in time, right? It's just like they don't have any regulations to say they can't do it though, right? Like, we saw some of this happen. I was trying to explain some of this to the Patreon members as well, but we saw this kind of happen with the whole GameStop situation, with the whole Citadel going short, and you saw they were doing the whole short squeeze back in the day, and you know, the market makers like Citadel and Three Arrows and all them were basically just suppressing the price, so that way not only would they not get rinsed from their positions, they would actually continue to suppress the price in such a way that it'll stop the rally from happening, which causes people to then, guess what, sell their bags, which allows them to then not have to worry about getting rinsed out of their positions, and all those people end up losing all their money because now they suppress the price. Once people start selling, it causes a cascade effect, or one person sells causes another person to sell, causes that red candle effect to be more prominent than anything. And when people start seeing red candles, especially if you're in profit, oftentimes you will just go ahead and say, yeah, it was a fun run, I'm out. And that's basically what's been going on, whether they're in profit or not with this game in crypto right now is absolutely crazy. But you can see they were actually they were in fact found through all the Congress testimonies and everything like that, that they were in fact manipulating the markets. Now there was nothing brought against them, right? They didn't have to pay any sort of penalty or any sort of fine, just kind of got swept under the rug, and you know, it is what it is. But with crypto, there isn't that regulation that we have. We don't have a regulation available to really stop people from doing what they're doing right now. This is why you're not seeing the prices pump, right? You have all of these ETFs that are buying all of these big ass amounts of capital right now, and I'm talking just massive amounts of crypto, but prices aren't pumping. Why? Because they're buying it from these market makers over here, where they may have bought Bitcoin back at $15,000, $10,000, and they've been holding Bitcoin and now it's $80,000. They'll sell it to those people wanting to buy it, but it doesn't affect the price at all, because they are simply transferring their ownership from one to the other. It's as if you were buying another person's bag, but again, you're not buying it on the open market. So like, say someone had 100 million pulse chain or a billion pulse chain tokens, and they wanted to go about selling them without hurting the price, they could sell it technically over the counter, OTC, to some other individual entity and just pass it on to that person. It won't affect the price, assuming that that person that they buy it from doesn't just dump the tokens, but it won't affect the price at all, and so thereby you won't see that pump. So even though there could be massive amount of capital coming in right now, you don't see the prices adjusting. And now that the prices aren't pumping, because they're buying all these deals through OTC deals right now, and then whenever the retail decides to actually start selling, the prices start dumping, and once the prices start dumping, once again, cascade effect, right? Woo, that was a lot to talk about right there. But anyways, let me hit you again with the Wednesday, my dudes. Catch my breath, take a sip of coffee.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
My God. It's crazy, guys. In all reality, I do believe that we got a lot more upside than downside. There's going to be a lot of pain going on, especially in the next coming days. I mean, unless you just see a massive reversal happen. I think the Fed does their speech coming up in March, I want to say, in 20 days. So whatever 20 days and 21 hours is from here. I could pull that up in just a second once it decides to refresh my page. But whatever that ends up being, right? March 15th or something like that. March 19th. There you go. And guys, there's a next to 0% chance that the Fed's going to, you know, cut the rates. You can see a 95% chance that we're going to maintain the same basis points that we're currently holding. And that basically means that we're going to hold the same thing. There is not going to be a rate cut in March. Let's just take a look in May. There's a 75% chance we will not see a rate cut in May. Basically, that means we won't see a rate cut in May. You can go all the way down and see that we finally first see a first glimpse of a rate cut. By the way, this actually pushed forward. Last time I did this, it wasn't until September or October of 2025 to actually see a potential rate cut. Now this is actually all the way up until June, which is a good thing, I guess. The markets are thinking that we may end up getting a rate cut sooner than later, but depends on what Jerome Powell ends up saying, especially come that March 19th meeting, how we end up doing it. You got the FOMC, and they're going to have the whole minutes, and they're going to be like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're going to do it. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're just going to keep you guessing. We ain't going to be doing all this. We ain't going to be telling you nothing. And because of that uncertainty in the market, God forbid you get, you know, uncertainty happening with overall crypto in general, from what's going on with the liquidations, from the constant meme coin rugs that are happening, from the constant, you know, hackers that are going on and doing everything happening. It's a brutal time to be here, man. It's a pretty painful thing. Someone made a funny post to my Telegram, and let me see if I can just save the image real fast and just share it with y'all. But they basically ended up saying, you know, basically like types of headache, and I'm sure maybe like y'all have seen this before. But let me just kind of pull it up over here. Give me 1 second. And yeah, I think y'all may have seen this before, but this is basically like different types of headaches, right? You got simple migraine, which is coming from like the front of the pain. If you've ever had that pain, it's called a migraine. You got hypertension, back of the pain, back of the head, I mean. You got stress, which is just an overall thing, especially the back, the front, kind of all around. And then you got crypto. This is basically what we're all going through right now. And dude, it seems like we're just banging our head up against a wall right now, and that's the reason why our entire head and our entire face hurts right now. It just seems like nothing is really happening the way anyone would anticipate it to, especially being that normally at this point in time you start seeing something happen, right? Yeah, especially on Bitcoin, right? But we've had Bitcoin reach an all-time high before the first halving, or before the halving just even happened. That had never happened before. We saw it reach levels below the previous levels of the cycle top to the dip that ended up happening. That had never happened before. There are so many things right now that has never happened before in crypto that it just leads me to believe this cycle is 100% different, right? Maybe not 100% different, but like 80%, 90% different. We've never seen Bitcoin crypto last and be in a macro tightening environment. We've seen it to where every single time the Fed will start printing money on a 4-year basis, they go with quantitative easing, quantitative tightening. Once the US starts going about printing money, the rest of the world starts going about printing money because the dollar actually gets devalued during that time. So it allows them to actually start buying up more assets, or buying the dollar and buying more of these items. We haven't really seen that this time, man. The dollar got stronger with the mention of tariffs, man. I didn't even pull that up as well, but the dollar got stronger with the mention of tariffs, which is like, that sucks, man. You want the dollar to go down, especially in the world that we're trying to get into, which is, again, a massive crypto world. Now, you can just kind of see just on the chart right here, just keep it simple. This is basically what the dollar's been doing during this time. It's like, dude, lower yourself, dollar, you know what I mean? Start going down, please, dollar. We did see a little bit of a dip happen. Again, this is on this is on the 1 hour. Holy shit, I haven't looked at the 1 hour like that in forever. That was too funny. I didn't even notice it was on 1 hour right away until it just kind of showed up. We're starting to see the dollar start to kind of lower itself, but I mean, guys, these are the levels that I'm paying attention to. Let us start getting into the 105 range. Let us start getting into the 104 range. Let us get into these ranges here, and then I'll be a lot more bullish for overall crypto. We've seen the pumps start happening in January. We've seen some pumps happen, but overall, we've been pretty lackluster, man. There hasn't been all these crypto projects doing a 5x, 10x number. They're all just like, we'll do a couple of dollars every now and again. Yeah, there'll be a couple of one pump, two pump type tokens. And the market just kind of has been brutal because of that. So I guess let me know your thoughts on this, right? Is the actual crypto bull run over? Is the crash happening? Was it leverage? Is the ghost of FTX haunting us all with SBF coming back out and tweeting some random shit that the dude had been tweeting in fucking forever because he's in prison? And now all of a sudden his Twitter's active again. Like, is it that as soon as he started tweeting, everything went to shit again, dude? It's freaking crazy, the timing and coincidence that actually ended up happening. But this is the actual reckoning, and I hope everyone is safe. I hope that you are taking this shit seriously for your crypto, because God forbid you don't want to be lasting during all this time waiting it out to finally be here and then get rinsed all of a sudden damn near toward the end of the finish line. Guys, this is a marathon, not a sprint. There's a few more months to go. I hope everyone makes it to the end of the finish line, and then in the end, I'll be seeing every single one of y'all next Wednesday as well. Come back again, like the channel, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. If you got something you want me to talk about, obviously drop it down in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to go into more detail on that as well. Other than that, folks, I hope everyone does have a wonderful week. If you need to get rid of your freaking socials to feel better, delete that shit. You will actually feel much better oftentimes not paying attention to it and not seeing what's going on in the market and not being emotional. And just remember that at the end of the day, it's all going to be fine. And if it's not, then it's not the end of the day. Okay? Catch every single one of y'all in the next one. Bye bye and peace out.